Of Peaks and Tides is an upcoming open-world survival adventure developed and published by Cook Games. The story takes place in Lushland, a vast world born from the aftermath of a war between gods and mortals. You awaken as one of the Nolans, survivors trying to rebuild their civilization among the ruins of divine conflict. The gods' fury reshape the land, mountains crumble, oceans rise, and storms sweep endlessly across the horizon. To survive, you must harness nature itself, uncover ancient relics, and learn the forgotten history of a world torn between creation and destruction. Gameplay blends crafting, exploration, and large-scale environmental interaction. Every action changes the world. You can sculpt terrain, build shelters, and use natural forces to your advantage. Gather resources, tame creatures, and fight colossal beasts using strategy rather than brute strength. Dynamic weather and disasters like floods, blizzards, and sandstorms aren't just obstacles. They can be tools if you learn how to control them. Visually, Of Peaks and Tides captures the beauty and power of nature. Sweeping landscapes stretch from mountain peaks to flooded valleys, with light and color shifting as storms roll in. Of Peaks and Tides is currently in development with no confirmed release date yet, and it's announced for PC. End of Abyss is an upcoming sci-fi action-adventure game developed by Section 9 Interactive and published by Epic Games Publishing. The story follows Cell, a young combat technician sent to investigate an abandoned research facility buried deep underground. What begins as a routine inspection quickly turns into a descent into something far darker. Strange signals pulse through the walls, creatures stalk the corridors, and the deeper she goes, the more the line between machine and flesh begins to blur. Every discovery brings her closer to a truth that was never meant to surface. Gameplay blends exploration, survival, and precision combat. You'll navigate a labyrinth of decaying halls, switching between weapons, scanners, and tools to adapt on the fly. Encounters are fast and nerve-wracking, demanding both reflex and resource management as mutated organisms and corrupted machines close in. The world opens gradually, each new path revealing secrets, shortcuts, and choices that can shift your fate. Visually, End of Abyss is haunting and atmospheric. End of Abyss is set to release in 2026, coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox X and S.
What's going on? Why can't I remember anything?
We need to get out of here together, but we'll have to rely on your powers.
Come with me, Alexia. Your family is waiting for you.
Where am I? And what happened
here? Once we're out of here, I promise to explain everything you want to know. The power within you is extraordinary. Not everyone has power like you, Alexia.
So, I'm just a weapon to be used. Then why are you helping me?
I just don't want to see you die here.
Freedom isn't as beautiful as you think. The world outside, it's much crueler than you imagine.
Listen to me, Alexia. If you escape, you can have a life of your own.
How can I trust you? What else have you lied about?
We, Atlas, made you, Elixir. I'm like a father to you.
I'll make them pay for what they did to you. This is my promise.
Psycho Dead is an upcoming third-person survival horror game developed and published by Moon Catalyst. The story follows Elixia, a young woman trapped in a secret research facility after a psychic experiment goes horribly wrong. Once meant to be humanity's next evolution, her abilities have become a curse. She's now hunted by twisted creatures born from failed experiments. As the walls echo with screams and the power flickers out, Elixia must use her psychic powers to uncover the truth of what happened in the facility and escape before her mind becomes one of the monsters. Gameplay blends classic survival horror tension with telekinetic combat. You can lift and hurl objects, crush enemies mid-air, or create psychic barriers to block attacks. Every encounter feels deliberate. Ammunition and energy are scarce, forcing you to decide whether to fight or flee. Exploration is filled with puzzles, hidden passages, and terrifying stalkers that can break through walls, making every step a risk. Visually, Psycho Dead delivers a chilling atmosphere, flickering lights, metallic corridors, and bloody laboratories that feel cold and alive. The camera work leans cinematic, capturing each psychic burst and creature encounter with heavy realism. Sound design heightens the tension, letting silence become just as dangerous as noise. Psycho Dead is set to release in 2026, coming to PC and PS5.
Death hath cast its shadow o'er this land. All hope seemeth lost, yet still thou dost fight. Why? What seekest thou in the dark? A touch of warmth? A gold coin or two? No. Deep within these folds of flesh, you and I both know. Death has judged us rightly. For we are but beasts, unworthy of salvation.
Hunger is an upcoming first-person horror extraction RPG developed and published by Good Fun Corporation. Set in a plague-ridden version of Napoleonic Europe, the story unfolds in a world where death has lost its meaning. The land is filled with decay and madness, and survivors known as the Living fight for scraps of food, weapons, and hope. As one of them, you must scavenge, craft, and escape the horrors born from the plague, both human and monstrous. Every run is a desperate attempt to survive another day while uncovering the dark truth behind the outbreak. Gameplay blends PPVE extraction and immersive horror mechanics. You'll explore corrupted villages and abandoned fortresses, facing off against other players and unspeakable creatures in real time. Combat mixes brutal melee with black powder firearms, and every shot counts in a world where ammo and resources are scarce. Success isn't about killing, it's about getting out alive with whatever you can carry. Visually, Hunger captures the haunting beauty of a dying world. Thick fog rolls through ruined towns, torchlight flickers against soaked stone walls, and the sound of distant screams reminds you you're never alone. Hunger is set to release in 2025, entering early access first on PC via Steam and Epic Games Store. Ill is an upcoming first-person survival horror game developed by Team Clout and published under Mundfish Powerhouse. Set in a decaying coastal town, the story throws you into the aftermath of a biological catastrophe. The population has been twisted into nightmarish creatures of flesh and bone, their bodies reshaped by something living beneath the surface. You play as a lone survivor trapped in the chaos, searching for answers while the world around you collapses. Gameplay focuses on realism, tension, and brutal survival. Combat feels heavy and unforgiving. Weapons hit with real weight, limbs can be blown apart, and every shot must count. You'll scavenge for ammo, craft makeshift gear, and navigate through blood-soaked corridors that change as the infection spreads. The game's reactive physics and body horror mechanics make every encounter unpredictable, forcing you to adapt or die. Visually, Ill is a masterclass in horror atmosphere. Built in Unreal Engine 5, it pushes cinematic realism to disturbing extremes. Ill is currently in development with no confirmed release date yet, and it's planned for PlayStation 5, Xbox X&S, and PC.
You will sleep through 14 years of flight to your new home on Zezura. We encourage you to nurture your dreams. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. When you wake up, your new life begins.
Subnautica 2 is an upcoming underwater survival adventure developed by Unknown Worlds Entertainment and published by Krafton. Set on a new alien ocean planet, the story begins after a deep space mission crash lands your crew into an environment unlike any other. You and your team must adapt to survive, crafting habitats, exploring ancient ruins beneath the waves, and facing creatures that challenge both science and sanity. The deeper you dive, the stranger the world becomes, as the planet's secrets start to reveal what really brought you here. Gameplay expands on everything fans loved from the originals. You'll scavenge resources, build submarines, and engineer underwater bases while managing oxygen, pressure, and temperature. For the first time in the series, co-op multiplayer lets up to 4 players survive together, dividing roles, piloting separate vehicles, and sharing discoveries across vast ocean biomes. Every dive can lead to new technology, new threats, and new mysteries hidden in the depths. Visually, Subnautica 2 evolves the series into a full Unreal Engine 5 showcase. Subnautica 2 is currently in development and set to enter early access in 2026, releasing first on PC and Xbox X and S. Railborn is an upcoming survival crafting game developed and published by Washbear Studio. Set on a mysterious alien planet crisscrossed by endless railways, you begin your journey with nothing but a small handcar and a dream of survival. The world around you is harsh and unpredictable. Strange biomes, shifting weather, and unknown life forms all waiting to test your endurance. As you explore, your goal is to build and expand your moving home, a train that grows, evolves, and carries your hope across the rails of this strange world. Gameplay focuses on exploration, construction, and cooperation. You'll gather resources, craft machinery, and attach new cars to your train, turning it into a fully mobile base. Manage fuel, power, and water systems while keeping your group alive. The planet is open and interconnected, letting you choose different tracks, explore hidden regions, and even play cooperatively with up to 4 players. Visually, Railborn is colorful and imaginative. Alien landscapes stretch to the horizon, while your growing train becomes a moving ecosystem filled with life and light against the planet's wild terrain. Railborn is currently in development with no confirmed release date yet, and it's planned for PC. Routine is an upcoming sci-fi horror game developed by Lunar Software and published by Raw Fury. The story takes place on a deserted lunar base designed with the look and technology of the 1980s. The station has gone completely silent, and you're sent to uncover what happened. As you explore its flickering halls and abandoned workstations, the truth slowly unravels. Something has survived the collapse, and it's hunting anything that moves. With only limited tools and no backup, survival depends on silence, awareness, and what little courage you have left. Gameplay unfolds in first person, blending exploration with stealth and tension. You'll use the Cosmonaut Assistance Tool, or CAT, to scan, hack, and manipulate old systems throughout the base. It can open doors, reroute power, and even emit brief pulses to stun threats. But its battery is limited, forcing you to plan every move. There's no HUD, no health bar, and no second chances. Every noise, light, or mistake could be your last. Visually, Routine captures a retro-futuristic nightmare. Chunky monitors, analog switches, and endless corridors bathed in pale light. The sound design does much of the storytelling. Humming machinery, distant clanks, and the echo of your own footsteps build an atmosphere of isolation and dread. It's not about what you see, but what you think is watching. Routine is set to release in late 2025, launching on PC, Xbox X&S, and Xbox One. Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2 is an upcoming open-world survival game developed and published by Hinterland Studio. Set after the events of The Long Dark, the story returns to a frozen world still scarred by the geomagnetic disaster. Civilization has vanished beneath the snow, leaving only silence, isolation, and the will to survive. You step into the boots of a survivor once again, searching for warmth, food, and purpose in an endless winter where even the sky seems broken. Gameplay focuses on realism and endurance. Every step, choice, and hour spent outdoors can mean life or death. You'll hunt, scavenge, craft tools, and manage your body's condition as the weather and wildlife turn against you. Resources are limited, and shelter is scarce. Survival depends on planning, patience, and adapting to whatever nature throws your way. Visually, Blackfrost keeps the grounded, hand-painted art style of its predecessor but expands the scale. Deeper snowfields, harsher storms, and a colder sense of solitude. Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2 is currently in development with no confirmed release date yet, and it's expected to arrive on PC, PS5, and Xbox X&S. Blight Survival is an upcoming action horror game developed by Hinterland Studio in partnership with Behavior Interactive. Set in a war-torn medieval land consumed by a mysterious plague, the story unfolds between two kingdoms locked in endless conflict. Amid the chaos, a dark infection called the Blight spreads across the battlefield, feeding on the bodies of the dead and twisting them into violent abominations. You play as one of the Wraithens, a lone warrior sent deep into the Blighted Zone to find and destroy the source before it swallows the living world. Gameplay combines brutal medieval combat with tactical survival and co-op exploration. You can fight solo or team up with up to 3 others, scavenging weapons, crafting gear, and using stealth to survive. Combat is weighty and grounded. Every swing, parry, and dodge feels deliberate, demanding precision and patience. Between fights, you'll collect loot, extract safely, and grow stronger with each expedition into the plague's heart. Visually, Blight Survival captures a grim and grounded world. Foggy forests, crumbling ruins, and blood-soaked mud under fading sunlight. Blight Survival is currently in development with no confirmed release date yet, and it's announced for PC.